guilt that people carry today is a lot of the reason we have a lot of mental issues. Stay with me. What am I talking about? I'm talking about consequences of sin. Everyone that has guilt may not have any mental issues. But some people, guilt causes them to rot. They can't get over what they did. Listen to what I'm saying. That is a work of the devil. That's a work of the thief. What does the Bible say? Jesus said the thief comes to what? Kill, steal, destroy. So people that are experiencing this guilt that they can't get away from, they haven't come to Jesus, or they haven't given it to Him. Folks, listen to what I'm going to say. There are things that have happened in your life that you can't change. There are things in your life that have happened that only Jesus can change. And guilt is the past. Let it go. Let it go. The shame that you, and it kind of goes along with, we've done things that we're ashamed of. Now, here's something. You can ask people, if you've hurt people and you got shame because of the way you treat them, you can ask them to forgive you. But Jesus came to help you get rid of your shame. Boy, it's quiet today, isn't it? The shame that you may be carrying, I was a bad person. I was not a good, and the shame eats you up. Listen, Jesus came and He made you a new creation. Why are you hanging on to the shame? Do you think we need to move on? Maybe this guilt and shame that we've got, and we've kept it all bottled up in here, we need to give it to Jesus and realize that He has forgiven us. And the Word says He took our sin, guilt, and shame, and He cast it into the sea of forgetfulness. Oh, stay with me for just a moment. So our guilt and shame's over here, but we keep remembering what we did, or maybe what somebody else did to us. Oh, and I have to, this is something I've really had to deal with. There have been people that I felt, it wasn't so much against me personally, but I felt that they had done things to hurt the church. And maybe it was my way of masking that I felt they had done it to me. Oh, it was the church. It's not something they did to me, it's the church. Well, maybe it is me. And I held these feelings. I've carried this thing. I remember situations where one time we lost 80 people in about a year. And I really, really blamed some people. Well, was it hurting them? No. Was it hurting me? Yes. Every time someone would mention their name, I would get mad. Now, I know you all think I'm a really nice guy, but I'm not. And then I remember, and it's not been that long ago, this building that we had been approved by the bank to buy, that this church said, no, we're not selling it to you. And they sold it to another church for $100,000 less than we were going to give them. Ooh. And I was, it's really funny I've told you this, but I was talking to this guy that I work with that he was backslidden, but he spoke into my life and he said, you know, every time you mention that person or that place, I realize you've got unforgiveness in your heart. Oh, so maybe it wasn't you, but maybe it was me. Maybe it was me that had this, and I was hanging on to this stuff, and the guilt and the shame wasn't as big a deal as the anger at the situation. And so what did I do? Well, I got all offended. Well, who are you? And I'm thinking, who are you? You backslidden son of a gun? Who are you to tell me this stuff? But it was true. It was true. And so I began to pray for this church and these people. I prayed every day. And I was praying for them, but I was the one that was being affected. Because I began to release. Oh, stay with me. I began to release those feelings. You can begin to release your guilt. You can begin to release your shame. You can begin to release that unforgiveness. Well, Pastor, if you knew what they did to me, what about what you did to Jesus? What about you? What you did? He forgave you, and you sure accepted it, didn't you? Oh. The immediate consequences of sin are conflict. Now, I look around this room, and there's not many of you that I've had conflict with. There is one that we had some conflict. And at the time, I thought he was wrong, and at the time he thought I was wrong, and we found out maybe both of us were wrong. Now, was it because we had sin? Well, maybe it wasn't this blatant black, sin. Maybe it's just personal. And these personal feelings kind of got in the way. And the devil used them. Yeah. Conflict. Maybe there are situations that you're dealing with today that's the result of something that happened a long time ago, a conflict that was brought about by sin. Okay, let's move along. Come on, Dwayne. So and then do you know that conflict brings division? That's a consequence of sin. What does the book tell us in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 8? That we might speak the same thing.